Donald John Trump was born on June 14th, 1946, in Queens, New York. Queens is one of the five parts of New York City. Donald was the fourth of five children. His parents were Fred Trump and Mary and McLeod Trump. Fred Trump was a businessman who built and sold homes. Marion came from Scotland. She moved to America when she was young. Donald grew up in a big house in a neighborhood called Jamaica Estates. His family had money. Fred Trump was not just a home builder. He was a very successful man. He built many apartment buildings in New York. Fred worked very hard. He wanted his children to work hard too. Donald had two brothers and two sisters. His older brother was named Fred Trump Jr. Donald looked up to his father a lot. Fred Trump was strict. He believed that winning was very important. He taught his children to be strong and never give up. When Donald was young, he was very active. He liked to be in charge. He was sometimes hard to control. His parents saw this early. When Donald was 13 years old, his parents made a big decision. They sent him to a military school. The school was called New York Military Academy. It was in Cornwall-on-Hudson, New York. At military school, Donald learned discipline. Discipline means following rules and being responsible. He learned how to be a leader. He also played baseball and football there. He was good at sports. The school helped shape who he would become as a man. Donald's early life gave him many lessons. His father showed him how to work hard and build things. His mother showed him love and strength. These early years helped Donald Trump become the man the world would come to know. After military school, Donald Trump went to college. First, he went to Fordham University in New York for 2 years. Fordham is a good school in the Bronx. But Donald wanted to study business more seriously. So he transferred to the Wharton School of Finance and Commerce at the University of Pennsylvania. Wharton is one of the best business schools in the United States. Getting into Wharton is not easy. Donald studied economics there. Economics is the study of money, business, and how markets work. He graduated from Wharton in 1968 with a degree in economics. Donald was not the most famous student at Wharton, but he paid close attention to everything. He learned a lot about real estate. Real estate means buying, selling, and renting buildings and land. He was very interested in this subject. His father also worked in real estate, so Donald already knew a little before college. During his time at school, Donald also watched his father's business very closely. He sometimes helped his father with small tasks. He wanted to learn everything he could. He was ambitious. Ambitious means you really want to succeed and achieve big things in life. One important thing about this time was the Vietnam War. During the war, many young American men were called to fight. Donald received several deferments, which means he was allowed to delay going to war. One reason was bone spurs in his feet, which is a medical condition. Some people questioned this later in life, but at the time it was accepted. After finishing college, Donald Trump was ready to start his career. He had a good education. He had a father with a strong business, and he had very big dreams. These things together helped him take his first steps into the business world. After college, Donald Trump joined his father's company. The company was called Elizabeth Trump and Son. It was later renamed the Trump Organization. This company built and rented apartment buildings in New York. Fred Trump had already built many homes for middle-class families, and the business was doing very well. Donald started working with his father in the early 1970s. He worked hard and learned quickly, But Donald had much bigger dreams. He did not just want to build apartment buildings in Queens and Brooklyn. He wanted to build in Manhattan. Manhattan is the most famous part of New York City. It is where the tall skyscrapers are. It is where rich and powerful people work and live every day. At first, people did not take Donald seriously. He was young. He was from Queens, not Manhattan. Manhattan businessmen thought he was just a young man with his father's money. But Donald did not let this stop him. He pushed forward with great confidence. One of his first big moves was a deal with an old hotel. There was a broken-down hotel called the Commodore Hotel near Grand Central Station in Manhattan. The hotel was in very bad shape. Nobody wanted it, but Donald saw an opportunity. He made a deal with the city of New York and with a company called Hyatt. Together, they fixed the hotel and turned it into a beautiful new place called the Grand Hyatt Hotel. It opened in 1980 and was a big success. This deal showed people that Donald Trump was serious about business. He could take something old and broken and make it great. This became his style over the years. He liked to take big risks and turn them into big wins. With this success, Donald Trump became a known name in New York real estate and was on his way to building something very big. After the success of the Grand Hyatt Hotel, Donald Trump moved fast. He wanted to build more and more. In the 1980s, he built one of his most famous buildings. It was called Trump Tower. Trump Tower is a tall, shiny building on Fifth Avenue in Manhattan. Fifth Avenue is one of the most expensive streets in the world. The building has offices, shops, and luxury apartments. Rich and famous people bought apartments in Trump Tower, and it became very well known. Trump Tower opened in 1983. It became a symbol of wealth and success. People all over the world knew about it. Donald Trump was not just a builder anymore. He was a brand. His name, Trump, became a word that meant luxury, money, and power. He did not stop there. Donald Trump built hotels, casinos, and golf courses around the country. A casino is a place where people go to gamble and play games for money. He built famous casinos in Atlantic City, New Jersey. His casinos had big names like Trump's Castle, Trump Plaza, and the Taj Mahal Casino. The Taj Mahal Casino was supposed to be the greatest casino in the world when it opened in 1990. But managing so many businesses at once was not easy. In the early 1990s, Trump ran into serious financial problems. His casinos were losing money. He had too much debt. Debt means money you owe to other people or banks. Donald Trump almost went bankrupt. Bankrupt means you cannot pay back what you owe. However, Trump survived this difficult time. He worked with banks and made new deals. He sold some properties and reorganized his debts carefully. Slowly, he came back stronger. This hard time showed that even powerful people face failure. But Trump always found a way to recover and keep moving forward. By the 1990s and early 2000s, Donald Trump was very well known in New York City, but he wanted the whole country to know his name. He found a new and surprising way to become even more famous. He went on television. In 2004, Donald Trump became the star of a new reality TV show called The Apprentice. A reality TV show is a show where real people, not actors, face challenges and competitions. On The Apprentice, contestants competed for a chance to work with Donald Trump. Each week, teams did business challenges. At the end of every episode, Trump would fire someone. His famous words were, "You're fired." These two words became known everywhere in America and around the world. The show was a huge hit. Millions of people watched it every single week. Suddenly, people who had never heard of Trump before knew exactly who he was. He was a tough, smart, successful businessman on TV. The show ran for many seasons and made Trump a household name across the country. Being on television changed everything for Trump. His name became even more powerful as a brand. He used his fame to sell many products. He had Trump steaks, Trump water, Trump wine, and even a Trump University. Trump University was a real estate training program. Later, it got into legal trouble because many students said they were promised great results but did not receive what they paid for. Trump eventually paid money to settle the case. Trump also wrote books. His most famous book is called The Art of the Deal, published in 1987. In the book, he talked about how he made big deals and became successful. The book was a bestseller. Television made Donald Trump a national celebrity, and this fame would soon help him in a very surprising new direction. Donald Trump has been married 3 times. His personal life has always been very public. People around the world followed his relationships and family life closely in newspapers and on television. His first wife was Ivana Trump. Ivana was born in Czechoslovakia, which is now called the Czech Republic. She was a model and businesswoman. Donald and Ivana got married in 1977. Together, they had 3 children. Their first child was Donald Trump Jr., born in 1977. Then came Ivanka Trump, born in 1981. Their third child was Eric Trump, born in 1984. Ivana worked closely with Donald in his businesses. She helped manage some of his hotels and casinos. But in 1991, they divorced. Their divorce was very public and was often in the news for a long time. After his divorce from Ivana, Donald Trump started a relationship with a woman named Marla Maples. Marla was an actress from Georgia. They had a daughter together named Tiffany Trump, born in 1993. Donald and Marla got married in 1993, but they divorced in 1999. Their marriage did not last very long. Donald Trump's third wife is Melania Trump. Melania was born in Slovenia, a small country in Europe. She came to America to work as a model. Donald and Melania met in 1998. They got married in 2005. Together, they have one son named Barron Trump, born in 2006. Melania Trump later became the First Lady of the United States when Donald Trump became president. She was only the second First Lady in American history to be born in another country. Donald Trump's children have all been involved in his business and political life. Ivanka, Donald Jr., and Eric worked in the Trump Organization and helped in his political campaigns. Family has always been a central part of Trump's public image. For many years, people talked about whether Donald Trump would one day run for president. He had mentioned the idea several times over the decades. But in June 2015, he made it official. He stood on a golden escalator inside Trump Tower and announced to the world that he was running for president of the United States. Many people laughed at first. They did not think a businessman and TV star could become president. But Trump was very serious. He ran in the Republican Party, which is one of the 2 main political parties in America. The other main party is the Democratic Party. Trump's campaign was like nothing people had ever seen before. He used simple, strong language that ordinary people could understand. He spoke directly to working Americans who felt forgotten. He made big promises. He said He would build a wall on the border between the United States and Mexico. He said he would bring back jobs to America. His campaign slogan was "Make America Great Again." These 4 words became very powerful everywhere. Trump also used social media in a new way. He posted his thoughts on Twitter every single day. Millions of people followed him online. This helped him speak directly to his supporters without going through traditional newspapers or TV stations. The Republican Party had many candidates in the beginning, but Trump slowly beat them all one by one. By the summer of 2016, he was a Republican candidate for president. His opponent in the main election was Hillary Clinton, a former First Lady, Senator, and Secretary of State. She was very experienced. Most experts predicted that Hillary Clinton would win, but on November 8, 2016, the people voted. The results shocked the world. Donald Trump won the election and became the 45th President of the United States. Donald Trump became President of the United States on January 20th, 2017. On that day, he gave his first speech as president. He talked about putting America first. He said his job was to protect and serve American citizens above everything else. His presidency was very busy and very controversial. Controversial means many people had strong disagreements about the things he did. His supporters loved him. His critics strongly opposed him. The country became deeply divided between people who supported Trump and people who did not. One of his biggest actions was cutting taxes. In 2017, he signed a new tax law that reduced the amount of money businesses and many individuals had to pay to the government. Supporters said this helped the economy grow. Critics said it mostly helped wealthy people and large companies. Trump also worked hard to change immigration rules. He signed orders to limit who could come into the United States from certain countries. He tried to build a wall along the border with Mexico. Some parts of the wall were actually built during his time in office. He was very firm and serious about stopping illegal immigration. On trade, Trump believed other countries were not being fair to the United States. He added taxes on goods coming from countries like China. This is called a trade war. China responded by adding taxes on American goods. This created big tension between the two powerful nations. Trump was also impeached twice by the House of Representatives. Impeachment is a formal process where Congress charges a president with serious wrongdoing. The first impeachment was in 2019, related to a phone call with the president of Ukraine. The second was in 2021, connected to the events of January 6th, when his supporters stormed the United States Capitol building. Both times, the Senate did not find him guilty. His first term ended on January 20th, 2021, when Democrat Joe Biden became the new president. After leaving the White House in January 2021, Donald Trump returned to Mar-a-Lago, his private club and home in Palm Beach, Florida. It was a difficult time for him. He had lost the 2020 election to Joe Biden. Many of his supporters did not believe the election results were honest. Trump himself said the election was stolen. However, courts and election officials from both political parties found no proof of widespread fraud. Trump faced many legal challenges in the years that followed. He was involved in several serious court cases. One case was about classified government documents that were found stored at Mar-a-Lago. Another case was about his business finances in New York State. A third case was about his actions related to the 2020 election in the state of Georgia. A fourth federal case was also connected to the events of January 6th at the Capitol building in Washington. Despite all of these legal problems, Trump remained very active and very popular among his supporters. He gave speeches at large rallies across the country. Thousands of people attended these events every time. He continued to be the most powerful and influential figure inside the Republican Party. No other Republican candidate came close to matching his influence or energy with voters. In November 2022, Trump made another big announcement. He declared that he was running for president again in 2024. He started his campaign early. Many Republican candidates tried to challenge him in the primary race. But just like in 2016, Trump beat all of them one by one until no one was left. Through all his legal troubles, his support from ordinary voters did not go away. In fact, many of his supporters became even more loyal when they saw him facing so many legal battles. By mid-2024, it was very clear that Trump would once again be the Republican candidate for President of the United States. The 2024 presidential election was one of the most watched elections in American history. Donald Trump ran against the Democratic candidate, Vice President Kamala Harris. President Joe Biden had originally started the race, but decided to step aside. Kamala Harris became the Democratic candidate in his place. She was the first woman of South Asian and Black heritage to run for president from a major political party in the United States. The campaign was very intense and exciting. Trump held large rallies across the entire country. He talked about fixing the economy, controlling inflation, and securing the border with Mexico. Inflation means when the prices of everyday things like food, gas, and rent go up too fast. Many Americans were struggling with high prices, and Trump promised strongly that he would fix this problem for them. On November 5th, 2024, Americans voted across the country. The results came in, and Donald Trump won the election. He won the presidential election for the second time in his life. He became the 47th president of the United States. This made him only the second person in all of American history to serve two separate, non-consecutive terms as president. The first was Grover Cleveland, who served in the 1880s and 1890s. Long ago, Trump was inaugurated on January 20th, 2025. He was 78 years old, making him the oldest person ever to become president of the United States. In the early days of his second term, he moved very quickly. He signed many executive orders on his very first day in office. He addressed immigration, energy, and government spending right away. His second term began with high expectations from his supporters and deep concern from his critics. Donald Trump's journey, from a boy growing up in Queens to a famous businessman to a TV star to a two-term president, is truly one of the most remarkable stories in modern American history.